In today's video, we are going to take a look at how easy it is to install the required software to build new Marlin firmware for our 3D printer. First, we need to download Visual Studio Code. The mighty force known as Google shows the page where we can download it as the first result. When we click on it, we end up at the Visual Studio Code website with links to download install packages for various operating systems. I use Windows, so I click on the first button. After downloading Visual Studio Code, we are going to need Git. The mighty Google shows us again right as the first result exactly what we are searching for. As the second result, and under the first one, we can find a link to the download page, but the first result will be suffice. After clicking on the link, we end up at a page where we find the download button for our operating system on the right side. If you want to download installation files for a different system, we can click here at the link called Downloads and choose the variant that we want. I use Windows, so I click at the link containing the text Windows. Last but not least, we are going to need the Marlin firmware. Again, we use the mighty Google, and after clicking at the download link in the first search result, we end up at a page with links to download the Marlin firmware. I recommend using only the last stable release, unless you have some other reason to download an older version. This link allows us to download the latest version, and this link allows us to download the configuration files. If you want to download another version, the best way to do so is probably GitHub. Here we can find a list of all released and tagged versions of this firmware under the Tags and Releases section. The latest released version is always the first here. It should be the same as the version available to download on the official website. All we need to do to download the older version is to click on the version we want, and all the way down on the page we find the link to download the zip file with the firmware. We are also going to need the configuration files for this version. These files can be found in a separate repository. We find this repository by clicking on the Marlin firmware username and then by clicking at the configurations repository. Find the branch with the same label as the release we downloaded and then click on the button labeled Code and download the zip file. After we downloaded all the necessary components, we can start installing. First, we install Visual Studio Code, which is a source code editor. The installation basically only involves clicking on the next button. After the installation is done, we choose not to run the program. Then we install Git. A person can install Git for, let's say, two reasons. One reason might be that they are a mere mortal like the most of us and someone told them to. This person is basically only going to be clicking on the next button. The second reason might be that the person is a developer and needs Git for his work. But this guide is not intended for such a person. So we are going to be clicking on the next button. After the installation is done, we choose not to view the release notes. After we are done installing, we launch Visual Studio Code. After it launches, we open the extension section. Here we search for PlatformIO and click on the install button. Doesn't matter which one. After that finishes, we need to relaunch Visual Studio Code. To do that, we can use this button. Alternatively, we can close and reopen the program manually. After the relaunch, an End icon shows up in the left panel. This button is used to open the PlatformIO menu. Lastly, we install the Auto-Build Marlin extension. This allows us to build our firmware without the need to edit the PlatformIO file. We can't avoid changing the configuration, but we will talk about it later. Now the time has come to prepare our firmware. First, we are going to need to unpack the Marlin firmware files from the downloaded zip file. Try moving the directory to a location that doesn't contain spaces and accents in its path. Also, try to keep the path to this folder as short as possible. If the unpacking is done, we can start choosing the configuration for our 3D printer. To make our work easier, I recommend to open the folder with configuration and the folder with firmware as two separate windows. In all the versions of Marlin, the configuration files used to be in the config directory. Now there is only a readme.md file. If you want to take a look at it, we can use Visual Studio Code to do so. However, first we are going to initialize our project using PlatformIO. To do that, all we need to do is open the PlatformIO menu, click on the Open button in the PlatformIO Home section, and then click on Open Project in the new window. Now we open the folder with our firmware. You can tell you are in the right folder by the presence of the platformio.ini file. After opening the folder, we wait a while until the project parameters are loaded and PlatformIO builds the project for them. When we take a look into the config folder and open the readme.md file, we find out that the configuration files are to be found at this link. This is the same zip file that we downloaded and opened previously. Now, I move my windows next to each other and inside the Marlin folder, I go to the directory called Marlin. We are interested in two files inside this folder. In the configuration window, we go to the directory called config and inside to the directory called examples. Here we can see directories named after printer manufacturers. Since I'm going to be demonstrating everything on a Creality printer, an Ender 3 Pro to be exact, I open that folder. Here we can see prepared configurations for all kinds of motherboards. Since I have the original quiet motherboard, I choose the configuration called Creality V1. This configuration can be also used with the original noisy motherboard. I open this directory and copy all of its contents into the Marlin directory. I overwrite the original configuration files. We can find a larger selection of motherboards for the Ender 3. So if you can't find the configuration you need for the Ender 3 Pro, you shouldn't have any issues using any of the Ender 3 configurations with the Pro, because they basically are the same printer. Pay close attention to the directory with the Ender 3 Pro version 1.5. Theoretically, this should be the Ender 3 Pro with a 30-bit motherboard from Ender 3 version 2 that a few people received as a surprise. If you have, for example, Anet A8, the steps will be the same as for Ender 3. You override the configuration files and, if needed, the files for the starting screen and the image for status page. We are going to continue with Ender 3 Pro. In the past, we were used that to build our firmware, we needed to edit the platformio.ini file, change the main definition to match our motherboard, find the definition for our environment, and also possibly change the settings for PlatformIO. Here we have more possibilities to choose from, and it might not be easy to make sense of it. In the new PlatformIO version, we can set the currently used environment with this button bar where we can choose which one to use. All we need to do is to click this button and choose the environment that we want to use. This basically makes it easier to set up the environment for which we will be building our firmware. However, this still doesn't make it easier to find the one that we need in this long list. If you know which environment to use already, all we need to do is to choose it and wait a short moment while the PlatformIO index regenerates. With our motherboard, there is one small catch. If I look at the name of our motherboard, I see Melzi in it. If I was to look in the environment list, I would certainly find something called Melzi, which would be suitable for our motherboard. I mean, it should be the variant for our motherboard, and we even find multiple variants to choose from. We should be interested in the version called Melzi Optimized, which is modified to take up less space. This means that we can get more functions in the memory than if we were building the firmware for the original environment. When changing environments, it can happen that the list fills up with errors and the opened file lights up red. If you wait until the PlatformIO index finishes generating and open the file again, the errors will be gone. Now, if we click on the build button, all should go without errors. If you don't see any errors, we can try connecting our motherboard to the computer. If you never connected the motherboard to your computer before, you are going to need to install a driver. How to find out which driver to install was already covered in a previous video. After successfully connecting the motherboard to the computer, we can upload our firmware to it. All should proceed without errors. Let's take a look at the new method using Marlin Auto Build. Let's say that I'm a person who knows nothing about configuring PlatformIO, and all I want to do is to copy the configuration for my motherboard and upload new firmware. This is exactly what Marlin Auto Build is for. When we click on the button with the letter M, a panel for Marlin Auto Build opens. This extension is still being developed, and momentarily it has very limited but for us sufficient features. When we click on the tooth gear on this panel, a new panel pops up which is used to configure the Marlin firmware. Unfortunately, this is still under development and doesn't do anything at the moment. If I switch to the build section or click on this text, the main panel for controlling this extension pops up. Here I can see information about currently used firmware version. Date when it was published, who created this configuration, how is the printer called, what are its dimensions, if it has a heated bed, how many extruders it has, the motherboard name, what printers is the motherboard used for, what is the pin configuration, and what is the used architecture of the microcontroller. At the bottom I see 3 various environments which are set up to be used with this motherboard. If I choose to build the firmware for Melzi and the build chassis, I will see that the firmware size uses up to 98.5% of the microcontroller memory. If I, however, choose to build the firmware for Melzi Optimized and the build succeeds, I will see that the firmware size only takes up to 91.9% of the microcontroller memory. Thanks to this, I can upload more cool features into my motherboard, like, for example, automatic bed calibration. If I was to use different configuration files or changed and saved this configuration file with another kind of motherboard, Marlin Auto Build would detect the change and offer me different environments that I could use. For example, for the Big 3 Tech SKR 1.4 universal motherboard, Marlin Auto Build shows me new values and again offers the environments that I can use with this motherboard. If I switch the configuration back to my motherboard and click on Build, all should go without problems. After a successful build with a motherboard connected, all that is needed is to click on the upload button and my newly built firmware gets uploaded to the currently connected motherboard. In case I have a 32-bit motherboard, like Creality version 4.2.7, all I need is to click on the build button and wait till the process finishes. If our motherboard is not connected in such a way that we can upload the firmware directly to the microcontroller memory, all we need to do is to look at the end of the process where we find a link to the newly built firmware in the form of a bin file. If we click on Open in Editor, or when click on the file when holding the Control button, the file will open in a panel where we will be told that it might be a binary file. If we now switch back to the project files in the left panel, we will see the path where our file is saved. If I now click on the file name with the right mouse button and choose Reveal in File Explorer, a regular directory window opens, which contains the file in our computer. Then, all I need is to copy this file and put it, for instance, on the memory card of the 3D printer. Then, we eject the memory card from our computer, insert it in our motherboard and restart the printer. This uploads the new firmware into the printer. And that is basically all.